Hello, welcome back to another episode of Shaun's Gig Journal. This time we're going to be looking at Download Saturday. So what a cracking day, we've got some great bands on here. So I had Guns N' Roses as the headliner, I went to see Hot Milk, to see Bush, I saw some new bands like South Arcade and Tailgunner. There's lots of other bands in there as well. It's a very busy day. First band we're going to be looking at is the Wildhearts.
Wakey, wakey!
Wildhearts, they're a band from my local area, so they're up in South Shields, which is just a few miles up the road. And a band that, again, I haven't had the chance to see live, even though I've liked them for years. It just hasn't happened, as it does sometimes. So I was really looking forward to seeing them opening up the festival on the Saturday. So got up nice and early, head straight over at the arena. Got a lovely spot, just off the centre of the stage, quite near the front. There was a good crowd there, people were up early to catch it, so that's always nice to see. And it was an absolutely cracking set. They only played 6 songs first on, they're just there to, really get the festival up and going. And it was just, playing, punky rock songs, as they do. If you haven't seen them, a bit of a crossover band, but they hit a bit of punk, they hit a bit of pop in there, and a basic rock band as well. So they've been going since possibly late 80s, early 90s, been around a long time, and been well regarded band for many a year. So it was really great to see them finally. Went out there, played a cracking gig, had a great crack on for the crowd, it was a good sing along. It was a brilliant opener to the day. Everyone had a good time. That's exactly what you want. So brilliant. Only 6 songs, as I said. So hopefully I'll get to catch them again and catch a full set. So I'll be keeping an eye out for them playing gigs locally, or if I can catch them on the festival circuit somewhere at another point. We just see what comes up. But I definitely recommend catching them because really, really good live. And just like a really upbeat, great start of the day. Brilliant.
Let's carry on. This is one from the new album, The Satanic Rites of the Wildhearts. This one is called Maintain Radio Silence. Ollie, let's see what this PA can do.
So after I'd seen the Wildhearts, I bounced about quite a bit, and I saw some bands in full and other bands I just saw like a few songs off when I was just walking about and checking out little bits here and there. So I went to the main stage for a bit and just got some food and stuff, and a band called South Arcade come on. Don't know anything about these. I can't even remember giving them a blast before the gig. I might have, but there's that many bands, you can just sort of forget if it doesn't hit you instantly. But they seemed pretty good live. It was like poppy. I don't know if it was pop punk or it's hard to tell off two songs, or a bit of a mixture between like pop and sort of metal and a few other little genres in there. But they seemed right up for it. They were having a good crack on with the crowd having a good sing along for songs, so they're obviously really popular. And people are happy to see them there. And it's good to see that at the beginning of each day of the festival, because I've been to festivals and people have just sort of been walking around and just, you know, waiting to see bands later on, and sometimes you get that, but the audience seemed really engaged, so that was really good. Yeah, and something I might check out later on.
Well, we are Tailgunner, and we've come here to play some heavy metal for you today. Is that alright? We released an album earlier this year. It's called Midnight Blitz. Here's another new one off that album. Download Festival. This song is called Tears in Rain.
I then went up to one of the tents and caught Tailgunner. So Tailgunner, the best way to describe them is like a massively Iron Maiden influenced band. Obviously Tailgunner is Iron Maiden's song. The way they've got the logo looks like Iron Maiden. The look in the style of Iron Maiden, and they play, you know, very similar music to Iron Maiden. They do their own songs, so they are original. They're not like just a covers band or anything, and they are very, very good. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on them. One of the bands that really stood out for us. I like that music, so it's gonna, you know, get me attention. But I thought they were great crack. It was great in the tent. I had a massive crowd who was really into it, which is always good. And yeah, they're, you know, really good musicians, good vocalists. They're very energetic and very engaging with the crowd, and, you know, getting them to join in and playing to them. So I thought they were excellent, and one of the main bands from the festival I saw is like keep an eye out on. I've been going quite a few years anyway. I think they've only got one album out to date, so definitely if you like that type of music, keep an eye out on them, and it'll be good to see how they progress with their career.
Oh, hey!
And next up for me was a band called Landmvrks. Again, it was one of the bands who I had on my list to, go and see, but they have made, a lot of waves with the music, and they're well known and classed as a really good live band. So I was quite happy to get to see them. And sometimes just on the days, it's whether something bounces in the right direction for you, you don't have anything else on, you're around that area and stage. And yeah, we're back at the main stage, and they were on, and I had a bit of time to spare, so I got to check them out. Probably caught like the majority of their set, and it's not really my type of music, but I could appreciate what they've done. They put on a good show, very theatrical, very heavy, but then they go into like different musics and be quite chilled out at times. So it goes from like one extreme to the other, and it was really enjoyable. I'm not going to say loads about it because I don't know the songs. I can't tell, how great they were when they played them, if it was, my expectations of people from the album. What I can say is from the people who were there and the people I knew who were there, who, knew them and wanted to see them, pretty much said they were spot on. I had a really good crowd. The crowd was really into them. And, if it's your cup of tea, it sounds like they definitely go down really well with their audience. I quite enjoyed it, even though it's not my cup of tea. So I'd definitely go and see them again. And I'd definitely, I might listen to them a bit more and get into them a bit more because of that. Which is often the case for me. Sometimes I kind of get into a band when I just listen to music, but once I've seen them, I appreciate them a bit more. And then when I put the music on after, I just got that connection a bit more and appreciate it better and get into it. So I'll give them a listen again, and I might get more into them and catch them down the line. Then went over to one of the tents again. For this time it was for a band called Spitz, who I did give quite a good listen to in the run up because I thought they were quite interesting band. I thought they sounded quite grungy, which is something I like, but they're not really. They've got some of that element in them, but they're a band of many genres, let's say, it might be the best way to see it. But I really enjoyed them. It's an all-female group and all proper rock. And you've got different singers within the band who can sing different ways, which is probably one of the reasons why they stand out with different songs. They're really energetic, they're bouncing all over the stage. You can see they're really into it. And they're, again, another one of the bands that I didn't know that well of before download in the run-up to it, and got into them a bit. And I think they could be a cracking band, so I'll be listening to them a lot more. And again, if they're playing local, I'll go and see them, but I'll be really interested to see what they do, and I'll definitely be giving more listens to their music that's already out. So at this point, I went off and met one of my friends who was there. So shout out to Jay. Had a really good time. Watched a fair few bands of him on the Saturday. It was good to catch up. I hadn't seen him for ages. And it was good to get a different point of view on, you know, different bands of the festivals that he'd seen. And, you know, obviously when we're watching them, what he was thinking of these bands as well. So I met him over for Those Damn Crows. Listen to them a fair bit over the years, but they're not like a band I'm massively into. But they were really good as well. I enjoyed their set. You know what you're going to get with them. So yeah, I mean, these have been going for a good 10 years now. They've got a fair few albums out. They've toured all over, toured under, you know, massive bands and done a lot of their own tours. So as you expect, you know, they're really good live, know what they're doing, no messing about. They just get out there, smash a load of rock songs, have a good crack on with the crowd. According to this, they only played 6 songs, but it felt like it was more when I was there. I might be wrong. Correct us if you know exactly what the set list was. But looking at it now, we've done 6 songs. Who did it? Man on Fire, Find a Way, No Surrender, This Time I'm Ready, and Sin on Skin. It was a really good set. Just a proper set you can just sit and rock out to and enjoy. And they've got good crack. And they're just a really, really solid band. Proper rock and roll band. That's all I need to say, really.
Honestly, the whole crowd was like, on YouTube, mental. You're like, what? Mental, like, honestly, like, split seconds.
So after that, we went back to the main stage and watched BABYMETAL. So we got a really good spot for BABYMETAL. We're like basically right in the centre of the stage, a bit further back, but where you can just see everything clearly. Out the way of all the mosh pit and that. Just a class spot. The sun was beaming down on us. It was a really good spot. Kind of argue with where we got there for this one. BABYMETAL are just a really fun band, aren't they? If you haven't seen them before, it's 3 Japanese, I was going to say girls, full and blown women now. They've been going quite a long time. But really fun band to watch. They're proper rock. You know what I mean? You look at them, if you haven't heard them before, you might think they look like a bit gimmicky, but they're in proper go. We've got good songs, really energetic, they're really confident, they know how to work a crowd. Say more on that. They're not a band I'd listen to in the house, but I've seen them a few times now and they've always been class, so you know what I mean? I've got now but good things to say about them. If you haven't seen them, always spot on live, so you're going to get a good show out of them wherever you go. I have only seen them at festivals, so it'd be interesting to see them, you know, doing their own show in an arena or a smaller venue. And that might happen at some point. But as I said, cracking band, cannot complain about that set. Then it was back to the second stage to go and see Bush. Bush were another band that I really wanted to see because basically came out in my era, probably a little bit before I got to like me later teen years. I think it was like maybe it's like 13, 14 when they come out, and they were really big for a while. I've never seen Bush before, but I do like the music, so I was looking forward to see them. You're probably starting to get a grips of what type of music I like and what's probably not really in my, you know, categories what I listen to, but I do give anything a blast and I'll enjoy most types of music. But there is certain genres I'll gravitate to, or certain eras anyway. But yeah, Bush I hadn't listened to in years, so it was really good to start listening to them again. And you know, sort of remember all the tunes and get a grip of some of the newer stuff that I hadn't heard before this. And we got a spot right at the side of the stage because it was busy for them, as you'd expect. But yeah, really enjoyable set. My mate says that he only wanted to see 2 songs and I played neither of them, so he was a bit sick. But that's what happens at gigs. You don't always get exactly what you want. I really enjoyed it. I listened to a few of the set lists that they've been playing on the run up to it and proper digged it. So they played all the songs I was happy to see. Really good live. They've been going, what, 30 odd years. When you've been touring that long, you know exactly what you're doing. You know how to play all different size crowds and you know what type of music you play at them. They were fantastic in my opinion. I thought they were excellent and really enjoyed that gig. But I'll bring the set list up and we'll go through it. So yeah, I mean, they played 8 songs. Again, you're hoping to see more than that, but it's just wherever you land on festivals. So I wouldn't mind seeing them again and seeing, you know, extended set list really. Or see them on the main stage would be cool as well. But they played like Machine Head, The Land of Milk and Honey, Everything Zen, which is probably my favourite Bush song. More Than Machines, Human Sand, Little Things, Flowers on a Grave, and then ended with I Beat Loneliness. So that's a good set list. I can get people being miffed when, you know, they don't play some of the hits. Gives you incentive to see them again, unless you're that pissed off, I suppose. But yeah, I thought they were cracking, and I'd recommend going to see them as well. back to the Avalanche stage, this time to see Hot Milk, Manchester band, I believe. I think I said some sort of like cross genre of all sorts of things. On here, they're described as being like pop rock, power pop, emo, punk, which is about right, yeah. That's fair enough, but they do mix quite a lot of different things in there. The female lead singer, she's got a right foul mouth on her, but it's rock and roll and you're allowed to do that, so it's all good. The probably, if I looked at the genres, I probably wouldn't normally give them a listen because I think this isn't going to be up my street, but I give them a bit of a blast on the run up, and they're pretty good, to be fair. Quite like them, so even if it's genres you're not really into, you can find bands that you like. And as you get older, you maybe become a bit more open to different stuff as well. But yeah, I thought they were good as well. They're right up for it. As I said, lots of swearing and having a good chat with the crowd and giving it a go. They're bouncing all over. Crowd was absolutely rammed in that tent, so it shows you, you know, that they're getting really popular. It was, you know, probably sub-headliner, I think, on that tent. There might have been one more on after as well, possibly, but it was near the end of the day. So yeah, they're definitely making waves, and if you like that type of stuff, then give them a listen. And if you don't like that type of stuff, which I normally don't, then it's still worth giving a listen because you might just like them as well. I thought they were pretty good, and I enjoyed the set, and it was a good lead up for my main event, so I was glad I went to see them and give them a blast. Okay, so then got through to the last band, the headline act of the Saturday, which was Guns N' Roses, band I've loved for many years. So they were my main event, and one of the main bands I really want to see there. I do love Guns N' Roses, like all the albums, even up to including Chinese Democracy, which can be hit and miss for a lot of fans, but I think it's cracking. So I was really excited to see these. Obviously going in, I'm well aware that they've got a bit of a reputation for lots of different things. One, turning up hours late and people just waiting for them to come on, not being great when they actually come on, Axl's voice being terrible, and there's probably loads of other stuff out there. You're aware of that going into it, but I've heard these types of things before for loads of other bands I went to see them, and they've been smashing. So it's not going to put me off. I'll still go and give them a go, and then I'll judge them based on that. If they're all that terrible, there's other bands I can go and head off to see. So I went in with an open mind and hoped that they were going to be class. For me, I thought they were class. Never mind being late, that actually came on early. So I was lucky, I was quite nearby, but I was just, killing time, messing about in one of the shops or looking at socks or something like that. As you know, there's loads of daft stores and everything at festivals. So looking at socks, and then one of them was like, oh, they've come on early. And I was like, right, oh well then, let's get off, catch them. So I got there halfway through Welcome to the Jungle, which is an absolutely cracking opener. Obviously the opener of their debut album, which in my opinion is possibly the best debut album of all time. Either that or the Stone Roses. But you can tell us what you think is, if you want as well. Played a really good set list for me. Pretty much all the hits and then some other stuff in between, a few covers and things. When you're looking at it, coming into it, and you see that they're playing a 3.5 hour set, that's a long time for a set. Even if you really like a band, 2.5 hours plus, and you're starting to struggle a bit. Not because even if they're playing awesome, it's just a long time to be standing there, especially in a field on a hot day when you've been to a festival and you've been, going days, been on the drink. A few days in, and it can, take its toll. So 3.5 hour set, and you're thinking this could be a long gig. They didn't actually play that long. They finished early. I think they ended up doing about 3 hours, which is still a very long set. But really flew over for me. Like, I was watching it from one side with my girlfriend, and we just sat and had a crack on and watched the early part of the set. 3 hours was too much for her, so she head back to the tent about halfway through, and then I went and met Jay again right on the other side of it. So I just walked around and watched the band as I got round. It didn't take us that long to get there, to be honest. Probably only took like 10-15 minutes. It was definitely the least attended headliner, but that worked out great for me because I just had more space. I was able to get, you know, pretty much right down the front. Really good spot. Busy enough where you're enjoying it and singing along and people's dancing and you're getting all the vibes, but not where it's absolutely rammed and you're sort of, you know, crushed in a mosh pit, or, you know, you're not in a comfortable position, people's getting in front of you. We were like right down the front and it was a great spot. Could see the stage clearly, hear it perfectly. Everyone around us was having a great time, dancing and singing and cracking on, and that was perfect for me. I couldn't have asked for a better spot for that gig. We'll go through the set list as well and see what I mean. So loads of, you know, hits: Welcome to Jungle, It's So Easy, Mr. Brownstone, Yesterday, Civil War. Then you've got, you know, the famous covers. I played Knocking on Heaven's Door, which was awesome. I love a bit of Bob Dylan as well, and played a really good version of that. That was a really good sing-along. Played Live and Let Die, Paul McCartney song, which is awesome as well. Really good live song. Have a good sing-along to that. They did an absolutely awesome cover of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, a proper tribute to Ozzy, God rest his soul. But that was class. Awesome tribute as well. A lovely, you know, back-up tribute on the back screen behind them. That was one of my highlights. I really enjoyed that. I'll pop a video of that up because that was class. So I think Sliver is like a song they just do all the time anyway, so it's not like a tribute to Scott Weiland. Well, it is in a way, but not like just a one-off thing. But yeah, I thought that was really good. Scott Weiland was an absolutely awesome singer. So It's a difficult one because you're getting judged on, you know, the cover of it, but I thought he pulled it off, you know, really well. Obviously, they kept a lot of the hits for near the end, so you get the final part of the gig, and you're going into like Sweet Child of Mine, November Rain, Night Train, Paradise City. You know what I mean? What a cracking way to end the gig. I thought they played awesome, to be honest. I loved all the, you know, the way the stage was set up and the backdrops and everything was class and really highlighted them. I thought Axl was on really good form. He's not going to be able to sing like he could in the late 80s and early 90s, which is fair enough. You know what I mean? It's hard, especially when you're that good a singer. And he was a really awesome singer back in the day. I've seen videos, you know, where people's been highlighting, you know, really bad stuff, but I didn't. I thought he was sang really, really well on it. He had these moments where, you know, his voice went a little bit or he missed a note here and there. But I'm not going to be that nitpicky. I thought for most of it he was absolutely spot on. Sang really well. The band played really well. It was really tight. Played all the hits, so everyone was having a good sing along and a good time. And it flew over, considering it was such a long set. It went over in no time. I could have watched more of them, to be honest. I sort of wish they did play a 3.5 hour set. But yeah, I was talking to people around us and Jay as well, who thought they were awesome as well. And that was a brilliant set. I was really glad that I did go and see them. And another one I've ticked off my list of all of the, you know, great bands I love to see and listen to for years and years, who I haven't gotten round to. And it's one, as you see, you're going into it and see it could be wrong, it could go wrong. But nah, I thought it was spot on. Absolutely brilliant gig. Others might disagree. You'll probably see a whole range of different people saying it was crap to it was alright to it was better than expected, and like me saying it was awesome. It's up to you to make your mind up. Watch some of the clips. If they come round and you like their music, I would still recommend giving them a go. Go and see them. If you're like me, you'll have a great time. There was no other shenanigans you've heard from like his earlier tours when he was younger. They all seemed, you know, proper pros. I can't have no complaints about that gig. I thought it was absolutely smashing. The All American Rejects, they were playing up the Dogtooth area, which is like a completely separate area at the main arena. You got to go on a bit of a mission to get there. and it's got its own stage. It's where all the stuff was on like the Wednesday and Thursday. So I was walking back. I wasn't even planning on going and see them, just walking, you know, back, and was going to head back to the tent. But the way we ended up coming out there, and then I would have had to walk further to get to the tent. So I thought, while I'm here, I might as well get a pint and go and watch them. And they were really good. I haven't really listened to them before, not properly anyway. Knew who they were. Obviously, a pretty big band, but I hadn't given much of a listen, so I didn't really know exactly what I was going into when I went to see them. But it was an enjoyable set, so that was a good crack. They only played about 5 songs, but it was a good way to end the gig, and a bit of a smaller stage. You're just coming down from the whole day of a festival, you're having the last couple of cans or pints or whatever, yeah, and just like, yeah, it was a good way to end it. I really enjoyed them. I'd definitely give them more of a listen just because of seeing them there, so that's good. I'd definitely go and see them again.
Swing, swing, on tables all night. Describe